Howdy, this is Fred, and we are home again. This time we are at the intersection of Peachtree and 14th Street, right here in the heart of Midtown Atlanta. We're going to talk about a specific place that I have some memories of here, and that's coming up in a little bit. But first we're going to talk about this structure behind me. Everyone knows that's Colony Square. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Colony Square, and then we'll move on to the other place that used to be at this intersection that I wanted to bring some memories back on. Now, before we start talking about Colony Square, let's take a little bit of a slideshow and show you a little bit of history of the building in pictures. Now, the two towers of Colony Square, construction began on these in the late 60s. The first tower was finished in around 1969, the second one around 1975. Now, for the longest time, it was kind of the granddaddy of all of the buildings here in Midtown Atlanta. It was actually the first high-rise mixed-use building constructed in the Midtown area of Atlanta. And for many years, it was sort of like the only one. But of course, we all know in recent times, the last 20 years or so, it has now been surrounded by younger, taller, shinier buildings. But it's gone through a little bit of an evolution on its own as well. It's not just the two towers anymore. The whole bottom level has been expanded. There are several other buildings that are a part of it now. Very expansive retailing and restaurants. A lot of good stuff over here at Colony Square. So if you haven't been here in a while, you should definitely come and check it out. Now, catty corner from Colony Square at this intersection is this office tower here, the Proscenium. It was completed and opened back in 2001. But before that, for a good stretch of the 90s, there was a fun dining establishment that was right there that faced the intersection. So we're going to take a little trot over there and walk up the block and talk a little bit about what used to be over there. So now we're one block west of Peachtree at 14th and Crescent on the other end of the block. So we're going to take a little bit of a stroll here and just talk about what used to be here before the Proscenium was here. Now on this corner at Crescent, there was an AT&T office building. It's like a one-story building, brick. One of their offices, I think one of their technical offices or something. It was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly what it was for, but I do remember it was AT&T. Now about here is there's a parking lot that separated AT&T and the place we're about to start talking about in just a couple of seconds here. So as you can see, this is the bottom level of the Proscenium Tower, which completely encompasses the whole block. Now, as we go a little bit further up, probably about a third of the way up, is where the old Gorin's Diner used to be. Now, if you are a longtime resident, you remember the Gorin's Diner was right here at the corner of Peachtree and 14th. It's an old-style trolley diner, shiny with neon, and it also had outdoor seating, which was right here on this section of the corner of the Proscenium and faced out toward the intersection of Peachtree and 14th. Now, back at the time when it was here, it was an establishment that me and some of my friends would go to fairly frequently, to the point where one of the waitresses named Debbie sort of became our go-to gal whenever we came here. So if Debbie's out there, I hope she's doing well. I hope she's doing fine. Now, I somehow managed to find exactly one picture of the Gorin's Diner online. So we're going to take a quick look at that before we wrap things up. Just thinking about Gorin's is making me crave those famous almond chicken melt sandwiches and those milkshakes that were a fat boy's dream. Well, anyway, that's going to bring this one down to a close. Once again, I'm Fred. We are home again at the corner, at the intersection of Peachtree and 14th here in Midtown Atlanta.